fluff and get straight to the heart of the game. From the hottest plays on the court to the controversies off it. We're breaking it all down with unfiltered takes and raw honesty. No sugarcoating, no holding back. Just real talk for real fans. Let's get into it.
Hey everyone, it's your girl Keisha with Cut the Ish. I figured I'd go live tonight because I need to talk out some of this debacle I seen earlier today in the early game with the Chicago Sky. Y'all see the name of the show, Wasted Talent, or the Chicago Sky holding back Angel Reese and Kamilla Cardoso. But before we get into it, I need you guys to hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. I got my boy Duval here. Duval was working for the man, and he couldn't be a part of the show. He had to work for the man, so he got some stuff to get off later on tonight. I still had some stuff to get off, so I figured we'll come and do a show with y'all. What's going on, Duval?
Just a sad day in paradise.
It's a sad day in paradise.
Yeah, it's a sad day of paradise. I'm telling you, I don't know. It's just like it's hard to know what this team direction is, what this team future is, and most importantly, is everybody have good intentions?
That's a good question. While we letting everybody come in the building, I want to share something with y'all because you know why I want to share it with y'all? Because the only joy I have sometimes today, even though I had some downtime because my team in Chicago Sky got embarrassed on national TV and I was calling the game, but I did get some joy. And I know nobody cares about this but me, but I got to share my joy with y'all. Duval, you ready for this? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You gonna be like, what, Keisha? Hold on, before we get into this topic. But this is the reason why I'm a Tiger fan. You got this crazy man right here. You wonder why he is acting a fool, y'all. You know why he acting a fool? Because my Tigers is in the World Series for the NCAA, and we won game 1 in baseball. So yes,
Man.
we traveled to Omaha, and we still out there acting a fool. That's all I got to say on that, Duval. But my mama say you gotta let them know that the Tigers won today. Game 1. We took game 1 in the World Series for college. Yeah, we compete in all sports. That's my Tigers. But back to the somberness, I
Yeah,
guess, of the Chicago Sky.
he had one too many Miller Lights at the stadium.
Yeah, 1 2 minute Miller Lights.
One too many Miller Lights.
Look at it.
Yeah, it'll rock it on the back. Now a slider for a double. He's 2 for 2.
Yeah. He played what they call beer pong before at the tailgate.
He was ready. You hear what I'm telling you? Ain't nobody gonna tell him. And just to let y'all know, my pitcher pitched a shutout.
Popped up, playable, right field.
Pitched a shutout. That's it.
And a special K performance for Cade Anderson.
He pitched a shutout, no point.
With 10 strikeouts, and LSU wins 1-0 and grabs a 1-0 lead in the finals.
Yep, man. So I had some joy today with my Tigers, and then we'll go back to the Sky. So yes, I am a Tiger fan with all sports, just to let y'all know. Moving on. Back to, hey, y'all getting in the look, Patricia Burton, I know they're your Tigers too. Hey man, let me tell you, man. It's the only joy I be feeling. You know. So let me say hey to some of y'all in the chat. Hey, Autism Boy, Tay. What's up, Jackie? What's up, ADP? Hey, big girl, how you doing? What's up, Patricia Burton? Hey, what's up, God is Love? Dre Stewart, how you feeling? He said Tyler lost the team because of what he said. Yeah, we're going to play it, Dre Stewart. Hey, what's going on? Jackie, Nubian Sage. Hey, man, Tyler. That's all we're going to say is Tyler. Duval, you know what I'm going to do for you? While I'm queuing up some videos, I'm going to let you get off your first soliloquy. What was your first impression of this game?
Dysfunctional is
Mm,
when you work at a organization. When you work with an organization and they don't have no sense of direction, this is what you get. I can't even get mad and want to crash out anymore because at this point, it's like you become apathetic.
mhm,
You just know that they got the wrong people, and it's a sad state of affairs when now all of a sudden Angel fans are fighting with each other.
mm,
They they ain't even fighting against Tyler Marshall and and Jeff P. They fighting with each other now. So you know this is a dysfunctional family from the top
mhm.
down. Big Mama can't even say this situation.
Big Mama can't even say it.
Big Mama can't even say this situation. I'm telling you. And so it just like I said again, he clearly quit in the third quarter. I mean I'm saying Tyler Marsh. He clearly quit in
Mhm,
the third quarter. His team was clearly outplayed since the middle of the first quarter. Like I
mhm,
said, his team cannot handle ball pressure, but he refused to get a point guard in
mhm.
free agency. So it's like it's you would think the way that they are conducting day-to-day operations, you would think they have their draft picks and they don't. You would
Mhm.
think they'll be embracing the tank, but ain't nothing to tank for.
Right.
And so that's where, like I said, the confusion and idiocy come in at when it comes to this situation because like why is you conduct yourself like you trying to tank for something, but it's not nothing to tank because you gave away your draft picks.
Right.
I just even read, I guess one of the reporters talked to Jeff P and he like, and I guess one of his quotes was he said we are always going to be in win now mode. We
Yeah, I got that.
retool.
I got that up right now. That's what I got up on the screen. He said, and I quote, "We are always going to be in win now mode. We retooled." He said, "We retooled.
Hmm.
We knew we had to make some changes. We're really confident about the group that we have. The goal is to make the playoffs in an extremely competitive league." That's what he said.
I guess this is what they call arranged marriage. You know what I'm saying? Like the foreigners be having no arranged marriages. I guess he had an arranged roster because
Mm,
he couldn't pick out this roster and feel like this was a win now roster based on everything that we see. Like I said, he only had one point guard on the whole roster. He thought he drafted a person that could play point guard when everything about her game says she's not a point guard. Then you want to hold over people that's basically a one trick pony, and they're not good at that one trick. Rachel
right.
Madden's not good at shooting,
No.
but she's a one trick pony. So you want to
Right.
hold her over. But Kayla's, what I'm saying, yes, she scored 17 points today, but like I said, she at this point just running up and down on court, just collect the cardio. She's,
Hmm.
what I'm saying, she's not an asset at this point, and like I said, it seems like you misusing Ari Atkins because she looked like a shell of her former self, and she only in her seventh season. So it's like what the blank is, what I'm saying. This team was evaluating when they put together this roster,
Well,
and then
let's go there. Let's go there. I want you to stay right there. If you know you got two bigs that you need to get the ball to, and one big can facilitate two.
hmm
Okay, the one position that was sorely missed last year, we lamented about it. We talked about it in nauseam. Is having a point guard position. Point
yes,
guard. We talked about that in nauseum last year.
hmm
You bring in Vandersloot, she's 37. Now, anybody that has any sense of basketball knowledge, it don't even have to be somebody who's a savant. It could be
hmm
a regular person like me.
hmm
Knows that there's a possibility that a 37-year-old might not hold up the whole season.
yep,
You draft HBL, who's not really a pure point guard. She's actually just learning the position. In actuality, she only got really 2 years of experience. 1 year at LSU, 1 year at TCU.
Mm-hmm.
Both places, she was in two different systems.
Yeah.
So she didn't get to perfect really either one. It'd be one thing if she had been at TCU the 4 years, right, Devon? But no,
Yeah.
she was there 1 year. Okay, so you draft her. Then you have Mo Jeff who can't get on the floor. And
Mm.
that's the depth of your point guard. And you knew that coming in. So that means with that three women that you had at that position,
Yeah.
all of them are maybes. When I say
Yeah.
maybes, you don't know if Sue's gonna get hurt. You don't know if HVL is probably a year or two out from really learning the position. And then Mo Jeff, you don't know if she's gonna retire. Maybe, maybe, maybe.
Nah, you missing one.
Who?
I'm gonna tell you what threw everything in the loop.
Who?
They were hell bent on getting Olivia Miles. And then once, like I said, and I showed, we did this on a live when I showed the proof and everything else. Once Angel talked to Olivia Miles when she went to see Angel and on Rival that Friday night and that Saturday morning when they hung out Friday night and Saturday morning, word
Mm-hmm.
got back that hey, she wasn't coming. And I think that what threw everything in the loop because they held on that number 3 pick for a reason. Because they could have been traded that number 3 pick for the Drew Lloyd trade. They could have been traded that number 3 pick for Kelsey Plum. That was an asking price. And they held on that number 3 pick because they thought they was getting Olivia Miles. And then when that didn't happen, now they're in scramble mode. So now they, you know what I'm saying, now they had a big room of error when it came to point guard play. Now they got a small room of error when it comes to point guard play. And I think that was crippling this team even as of right now. Because they wasn't planning on going with HBL, to be honest with you.
Not at
Angel
the
original,
beginning.
that was an Angel original friend was Olivia Miles. Then she went to the backup friend after the original friend went back and said that's why I think that would happen. And
But
so
you
it's
know
like,
what? You know what the trip part about what you're saying, Duvall? Jeff P. Oh. Even if he would have succeeded in getting his first plan,
mm-hmm,
say like Olivia Miles would have came out and they could have drafted her.
mm-hmm.
Would Tyler Marsh have played Olivia Miles
I think so.
with
'Cause
Flute,
I think he
who
was in.
who thought she was supposed to be an All Star this year?
Reason why I say I think so because I think Tyler Moth was in on Olivia Miles too. Remember, he went to a few of their games, and it clearly wasn't for Citron because they passed on Citron. That's why they traded for Atkins because they
Mm-hmm.
could have got Citron at the same spot.
Well,
So
he went
clear,
to he went to some games even with Maddie Westfield, but he won't play her. They was on the same team.
but I think Maddie Westbell, like I said, when it comes to her, it's clear that she's more further, not say further along, but further away from really contributing. I'm basing it off of the reason why they're not playing her because a lot of times when you don't play somebody that you drafted and there's a clear hole at that position, they seeing something in practice that's saying that hey, she's not good or she's not ready or she's not built for this situation.
But Duvall, if Sloot wouldn't have went down, he wasn't gonna play HVL.
Not really, no. That,
So Duvall.
but I'm saying, but see the difference between the HBL and Olivia Mount. Olivia Mount is more of a natural point guard.
So you think he would have? You think he? Because I'm just saying, Tyler Marsh seems like he's not really good at bringing
But
the rookies along.
I could have seen scenarios where like both him and not both him. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disrespect her like that. But both Sloot and Olivia Mouth would have played at the same time, and like she would have been trying to be developed on the job, if that makes sense. So I
Hmm.
could have seen a scenario where she could have played 15 minutes without Sloot on the court, and then played another 10 minutes with Sloot on the court. and just like it would have been a big, two big point. Because Olivia Miles was like 5'11", because she's
Mm-hmm.
not small, and she like stocky. So it's not like it would have been like two small point guards trying to play defense. You know what I'm saying? Olivia Miles have her defensive issues as well, but at least she's a bigger guard. So I could have seen a scenario where they could have played both of them at the same time. I could have seen it working. I could have seen Tyler Marsh having more of a belief in Olivia Miles because of her point guard and her playmaking mentality than somebody like an HBL where she's clearly a point guard project. And I think that's the difference. She's clearly a point guard project where you don't know what you're getting with this woman, game to game, and they don't want to play her the way that she needs to be played for whatever reason. Because the way she need to be played like Jamal Crawford. Jamal
Mm-hmm.
Crawford was a guy that, hey, when he came off the bench, his only job was to get buckets. Don't pass the ball. Don't worry about defense like that. Just get buckets. And they're not playing her like that. And I think she'll be more of an asset to the team if they play her that way than try to play her with the point guard mentality and she just dribble, taking the air out of the basketball.
But you know what, Duval? You know why I got a problem with all of this? They went to them same games
Mm-hmm.
of the Irish.
Mm-hmm.
They came back with Maddie Westbell,
Mm-hmm.
who they won't play,
Mm-hmm.
and they traded the
Three pick.
pick, the 3 pick, when they could have got Sonia Citron.
Mm-hmm.
So, two things you got to help me, Duval.
Mm-hmm.
Either they don't know what they looking at, or they scouting department is really horrible, or the management is stepping in and saying who they want.
I think
Because the only reason why I say that is you came out with a player. If you didn't know Maddie Westbell needed development, how come you didn't know? You had to have known that going in, right?
yes or no.
She
And I'm gonna
wasn't a
give you
sure thing, right?
no. But I will give you a perfect example why I say yes or no. I'm gonna bring this to football. I'm gonna bring this close to my team.
Okay.
I remember 2014. My team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, drafted Blake Bortles. In college, it looked like his throwing motion was good. It was good enough to function at an NFL level.
Mm-hmm.
Like I say, they went to all the UCF games because UCF is like 2 minutes from well, not 2 minutes, but 2 hours from Jacksonville. So they went to all the UCF games. So Dave Caldwell, who was our GM at the time, he scouted Blake Bortles extensively. That's who he wanted. And I remember when he got drafted here, and then we had our first mini camp, like the rookie mini camp. And I remember the first day that he threw the ball,
Mm-hmm.
everybody in the crowd and everybody on that sideline, including the coaching staff, was like, "Oh Jesus, he can't throw." You know what I'm saying?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like, what's going on? Like he couldn't even throw a spiral. We were like, what's going on? Like this ain't what we seen when we seen at UCF. But when you like I said, when you at the NFL level and the bodies are faster and bigger and stronger, and now if you got bad mechanics, now you can't hide it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it came to Matt Westbell, they probably went into the draft process looking at her like, okay, I can see her giving us 5-10 minutes a game to relieve Angel. She's a stretch four, blah blah blah. But then when you see her in practice and you see how slow she moves, because I see it when we see her in garbage time, you can see that she moves like she's still thinking, like she don't know where she's going, she don't know what she's doing. And so when you see all that, it's like, oh, maybe she further along than I thought. Like somebody like Sipka, like the 10th draft pick, the one that they drafted in Sun on the Seas, they knew she was further away, so they went in knowing that. So they already had a plan that we gonna draft her and stash her. Because like I said, the moment that she plays for the WNBA, that's when her contract starts. So if she
Mm-hmm.
don't play 3 years later, she still be technically considered a rookie because she's 19 now.
Right.
With Maddie, it was like more so like they probably thought Maddie was more further along. And then they seen her practice, they seen her play against Angel, they seen her play against Camilla, and they're like, oh, she's further away than we realized. And I think that what happened.
So we're not. So what you're saying is now I understand. Now you're saying our organization is just bad because
Mhm.
other people went into training camp.
Mhm.
Um, the Valkyries cut people. We was
Mhm.
like Valkyries cut people. Atlanta cut people.
Mhm.
Atlanta moved on from people that were already on the roster.
Yeah.
To make their team better. But we decided, no matter what, whoever we drafted, we were going to keep.
Mhm.
Even though, because I understand what you're saying with Blake Bortles, because yeah, in college it could look different. But when you
Mhm.
got that person in training camp and you went through training camp, still not playing that person,
Mhm.
that person still didn't play that much.
Mhm.
So that's why I said to myself, I said, well, so that means you decided, kind of
Mhm.
like Sivka.
Yes.
She was kind of like an American. I'm talking about Westville. You
Yes.
made Westville like an American stash and play later,
Mhm.
kind of thing.
I think
Even
they'll.
though even though you knew you needed a backup for Angel.
Yeah. I think they was gonna slow play her. I think they really thought that she could have gave them at least a good 5-10 minutes. And then once they really seen her play, they're like, "Oh, I don't think we could. She could even give us that." Because they,
Mhm.
like I said, your words don't tell you nothing. Your actions tell you everything. And their
Mhm.
actions were telling you that, hey, we'll rather play Michaela, who's really out of position, in a position that she never played before, than to play somebody who played this position for a long period of time. I'm talking through college.
Mhm.
We more confident than playing somebody that never played this position to play this position than to play somebody who played this position and who can do things at that stretch four position that can help this team. So that tells me that they either A, they predetermined that they was gonna keep those roster spots because they didn't want to look like they made a mistake. And B, they determined that she's more further along than we thought, so we'll just stash her and just hope that we can get through a year with this and then recircle this later.
Okay. Hey, let me stop here for a minute. Everybody, look. Hey, we got over 190 people in this chat. Please, please hit the like button. Please. Thank you, William Goins. Please. I know William Goins. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Please. Look, I take hate subscriptions too. Go on, hit the subscribe button too. But please hit the like button if you're going to camp out here and listen to us. Hit the like button. All right. Next to the hey. So since we didn't went through that whole thing about the point guard, so you're telling me that Tyler Marsh and Jeff P
Hmm.
in the front office and
Hmm.
Michael Alter, because I'm starting to include the owner in all this too,
Of course.
felt like he can make it through the season with a 37-year-old Vandersloot, a tweener in HBL, and an injury-prone Mo Jeff.
Nope. I'm not telling you that at all. I'm telling you that they thought they was gonna have a 37-year-old Vandersloot, a 21-year-old Olivia Miles, and then whatever version of Mo Jefferson they was gonna get. And when the Olivia Miles situation happened, I think they didn't have a plan B. So they pivot to whatever they felt like was close to a developmental point guard prospect.
Mhm.
And with Angel advocating for AVL, they went that route. And then they felt like she was more further along than they thought. But because they point guard situation is dire, they have to play her more at that position that they didn't want it to. Because you got to
But
think about this too. They playing Rachel Bannerman point guard. They playing Atkins at point. So they really ain't have a point guard answer.
But you know what? There was a better point guard answer in the draft
Yeah.
that they didn't take.
Yeah, Pow.
Yeah.
When they evaluated, they clearly thought that she couldn't translate. And that's on them. That's bad scouting.
Mm-hmm.
But let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's call a spade when I say this. Jeff P is not a real GM. Remember, he was just a developmental coach.
Mm-hmm. Like Tyler.
He got social promoted to a position that he didn't earn. You know what I'm saying? He's not a real GM. He's not an experienced GM. He's not a former scout. He's a developmental coach. That's a difference than a scout and a developmental coach. A developmental coach is once you get the player, you break down the film and see what they do wrong, and you try to work on their weakness to try to make that a strength. A scout is somebody that evaluate the player as a total. And Jeff P clearly wasn't a scout. He was a developmental coach that got promoted as a GM. And I think they did that because Michael Alton being cheap. Because remember, Jeff P got hired pre-injuries. So they probably assumed they ain't have no money. Because like I said, remember again, like I told you, before 2024, this is when they won the championship and everything. For 13 years, they had 5 total sellouts. They had 12 in 2024 alone. So they ain't see the money coming around the corner. Like they couldn't count the money like Indiana counting the money. When the moment Caitlin Clark declared for the draft, Indiana was counting dollars. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They ain't no Angels gonna be there. Hell, they ain't even want Angel. Teaspoon wanted her. And so when
they still had time, even though Olivia Miles didn't pan out.
Mm-hmm.
They still had time to go scout for another point guard.
They got time now.
I hearken. Phoenix went out and found one.
They got time now. Erin McDonald's out there.
Erin McDonald is still unsigned. So, and they also had tape of Sloot's decline.
Yes.
In New York.
You're right.
It seemed like this became the good old boy buddy system. I like Sloot. I like Jeff P. Yeah. We all cool.
I told you that. I told you him and Sloot got a business together. And to go back to why I brought Angel into this whole scenario, if they knew the money was coming, I think they would have got a better GM. Somebody that they could have paid. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because they weren't making money like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was easier to get and this is why I'm bringing all this going to be full circle with this point guard situation. It was easier to get somebody that was already in your system, that was a developmental guy, that wasn't a GM, that wasn't a scout, that didn't do the scouting work for years. So you promoted somebody that shouldn't be promoted, but you could do that because you don't have to pay that person no money. So now the team is not constructed properly because they couldn't invest the right amount of money into a position that's important because they felt like they didn't have the money to do it. Yes, Michael Alton, who was the owner, got money and other things, but you can have money and other things that don't want to put money into your sports franchise if you don't feel like it's worth the investment.
Yeah, I'm with you, but we're gonna keep going. I'm going down the structure of this team.
But I'm thinking that part. I don't mean cut you off. I apologize. I'm thinking that part is a downfall for everything, including right now.
I agree. Let's get to the 2 position.
Mm-hmm.
We cut Kennedy Carter loose.
Yes.
We didn't get nothing for Kennedy Carter.
Yes.
Because of whatever optics we thought was needed to be for our team or whatever went on with Kennedy Carter. I don't want to go back into that conversation. We cut Kennedy Carter.
Yes.
Or we just didn't re-sign or whatever you call it. And then we bring in Ariel Atkins who is a 2 guard, but a different type of 2 guard.
Catch and shoot.
Yes. Kennedy Carter is a get her own shot.
Playmaker.
Break down the defense, playmaker, pick her spots.
Mm-hmm.
She one of them. Two different types of players.
Yes.
Then we go to our backup 2.
Mm-hmm.
Duval, who's our backup 2 on this team?
Your guess is as good as mine.
That's why I asked that question. Who is our backup 2 on this team, Duval? You a basketball savant?
Hey, you would think it's Richard Banner, but if that's your backup 2, then you know what I'm saying. It goes back to what I just said. The front office failed you.
So we got another position that doesn't really have a backup. And has a different type of 2 than what it had before.
No, I disagree. We have a backup, but they're not playing her like it.
Who you think is the backup? Or who should be the backup?
HVL could be a better 2 than a point guard in the WNBA level.
Gotcha.
They're not playing her like it. Like I said, they need to play her like Jamal Crawford. Just get buckets. Because one thing HVL showing you, she can get to the basket. She had no issue getting to the basket. She might have issue with ball pressure because, like I said, she's trying to think and dribble at the same time. She might have issue with passing because she's not a natural passer. It's not something that she do naturally. But she don't have a problem getting to the basket. She don't have a problem scoring. So she could be your backup 2, but because you really dropped the ball on the backup 1, you playing her in a position that she shouldn't play, and you still got a hole in a position on the team that's not being filled by people that should have filled it.
So let me get this straight. We don't have a backup 2.
No.
And the person we can develop into that backup 2, we don't have him playing backup 2.
No.
Gotcha. I got it.
It's like when you go to an organization and you got one manager that specializes in one department, but you got another department that has this big old hole and you need this whole field. So the manager that's specialized in this certain department has to go to this other department that this manager don't have any experience in that department, but they need that department filled because that department is more valuable or more of a priority than the department that person currently in. That's where we at. Because again, we don't have a GM that's smart enough to say, hey, let me go out and get this for this position.
Okay.
Everybody,
I heard it nauseum, Duvaldo. I'm just giving the options before we get to 3. I heard it nauseum that Kia Nurse could be a 2.
Well, you heard wrong. Because like I said,
I mean, people kept saying that to me.
Your partner in crime was wrong. Because he's the one that said it. And he been wrong on this for quite some time. I told y'all that Kia Nurse wasn't what it is. And I told y'all Beck Allen was what it is. But another story for another day.
I'm just telling you, so we still have no backup because the backup is not backing up. And we only got the one person. Okay, let's go to the 3 position. For the 3 position, we got Kia Nurse, Rebecca Allen, and was supposed to be Michaela Onyenwere. All 3 of these ladies have weaknesses, and I'm gonna tell you why. Michaela is a tweener 3.
Yes.
Certain matchups she's fine at the 3. Certain matchups she's not.
Yes.
Right? Defensively.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Rebecca Allen, to me, probably does better coming off the bench. She's coming off an injury. Okay, so for right now, I'm just going to say she probably just needs to come off the bench. She's thinking too much when she's in the starting lineup, but that's neither here nor there. Then you got Kia Nurse, who is a defensive liability.
So bad.
And she's a catch and shoot player.
Yeah. And
Trying to play the 3.
Not good at that either.
She misses defensive assignments left and right.
Yeah.
We got these three people vying for this three position. And none of them are really a complete player because you got Rebecca Allen's injury with the back, trying to get back. You got Kia Nurse with her defensive woes, and she got to catch and shoot. She can't create worth nothing. She can't nothing. Then you got Michaela Onyeabor. The only thing about Michaela is she can play defense with certain threes, and she can slash to the basket and hit a three. She's got more variety. Yeah. She's not just a catch and shoot. She can actually move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But with some threes, she's gonna struggle. With.
Right. Like Kai Copper.
Yes. So now you gotta mix and match this gumbo bowl, and try to put in the right combinations at the right time. And we know Tyler Marsh is failing at that miserably.
Only thing I can say, all three of those players got in common is they all give you heartburn. All three of them. At various times, all three of them give you heartburn, and you need some Pepto-Bismol and all that, and Toms, and it'll fix it temporarily, but the heartburn will still come back. So it just that's all it is. It just, again, going back to what I was saying, when you hire a developmental coach to be a GM with hidden agendas, see that's the three bad combinations. You point a developmental coach to be a GM, and then he become a GM, and then he have hidden agendas. He had hidden agendas because ultimately, if you want to be honest, he want to be the head coach.
Hold on, let me show y'all this. They are dragging Kia Nurse online, y'all. They're dragging her online.
Jesus.
Dragging her.
Like, throw the ball right there. You throw it right there. Now do you go back to it? It ain't there. She can't play.
Look at Kamilla's face. Like, she just turned her head, y'all.
Jesus.
They're calling her a terrorist online.
I wish she had the one at the beginning of the game with Kia Nurse.
Oh, I might not have it. Hold on.
Oh, that's diabolical, Kamilla.
This is the other one with Kamilla. We're gonna get to that too, but hold on. Somebody is telling her to get the ball. You know how you tell Kamilla, get it to Rachel. Why, Kamilla, when Angel's right there?
And she the one that pass you the ball. And not only she the one pass you the ball, she make other people pass you the ball.
Moving on.
Yeah.
We just, because if I continue on, but let's continue on down the road. So we talked about the threes. We gonna get to the fours.
Yeah.
We got Angel Reese. And we drafted Maddie Westbell, who Tyler Marsh don't think is ready.
Yeah, basically.
And he plays Michaela sometime at the four because he don't have a backup four. Basically. And that's really, we don't have no. Sometimes he play E-Will. Mix and match. I don't know. And then we get to the five where we got Kamilla Cardoso. Yeah. She has a backup, which is supposed to be E-Will.
But she got to play, you know what I'm saying? She got to play in both places too because, like I said again, going back to the GM incompetence. Because you could have had somebody like like a Monica Billings that you could have got in free agency for a low value dollar, and she could have been a backup four for Angel. And they had E-Will at 5, but like I said again, I think they had the plan of making Maddie their backup 4, and then they seen her play in practice and see that she further along than we thought, and we can't really just sign somebody off the street without cutting her because they clearly believe in her long term. They just don't believe in her right now. That's what it looked like to me. It's like they don't believe in her right now, but they clearly believe in her long term. Because if they didn't believe in her long term, they could have easily signed somebody in free agency and just cut her and call it that day. If that makes sense.
Meanwhile, we go a whole week. Fluke goes down.
Yeah.
Mo Jeff ain't played.
Mm-hmm.
So we're down to what? That's 10 players. We got that suiting up. Oh, the only other player we didn't talk about, Rachel Banner.
Jesus. She like taking cough
He
syrup,
got
man.
her. He got her playing the one. He got her all over the place.
Yep.
He got her handling the ball. So defenses know we just do ball pressure. They turn the ball over.
In bunches. You
So
you know what Rachel Banner is to me.
what is she?
She's duct tape.
Mhm.
You think she gonna fix everything, but she don't fix a goddamn thing. You just tape on all of these stuff, and you think she'll fix some of this stuff even temporarily, but she don't fix nothing. But that what duct tape is. She's duct tape. Instead of what I'm saying, instead of them addressing the situation properly, big picture, what they trying to do is have all these people in all these different roles that they don't fit into, including Angel to a certain degree. Angel's a good point forward, but she need to be on the block more. Because clearly, when she's not on the block, the rebounding go down. Her rebounding numbers overall went down. And they clearly need her for that. They clearly need her for the second chance opportunities.
Let me
But
tell you this.
yeah,
The ball, I'm gonna cut you off. You know why I'm
go
gonna tell
ahead.
you this? I'm about to cut you off. You know why? Because I was critical of Camilla Cardoso.
Mm-hmm.
And I said if she be more aggressive, I'm good with Camilla.
Mm-hmm.
Last couple of games, she's become more and more aggressive. Even
Yep.
this game today, she
She
was
was
aggressive. She
she
was
was aggressive.
aggressive
She was aggressive in Atlanta.
on the offensive end. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Tyler Marsh is still letting Camilla Cardoso get drugged out to deep.
Three
There was
point
a
line.
point. There was point in the game that they shot three straight threes on Camilla.
Mm-hmm.
As a coach, why would you continue that defensive scheme, Devon?
And they targeted her too.
When you get the aggressiveness that you want from Camilla on the offensive end, why defensively you can't figure this out?
And they targeted her on defense.
Yes, because if you let her get drug out to the deep, she's not a perimeter defender, Duvall.
She can't do it.
Can't do it. No, she's 6'7", and her lateral quickness is not like that. So
And this,
if you know your player's weakness, and there's no knock on Camilla, because everybody ain't no perimeter defender, Duvall.
and therefore I was gonna tell the audience that because I ain't want the audience to think we'll just pound on Camilla. That's not most people. AT can't defend the perimeter like that. And AT is a all WNBA level defender.
Yes.
He can't There's very few people, like I said, I can name them, that's really lockdown defenders on the perimeter. Angel, Dejanay,
Hmm.
hey. Even Asia Wilson is like more of a roamer than a perimeter defender.
But she's okay out there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she can hold on, but she more of a roamer. Like she just somebody that she's more of a Rudy Gobert defender, where she's more zone than man. If
Right.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like I said, it's not. So we saying Camilla not a perimeter defender. That's not an indictment on Camilla because a lot of them can't do it.
No.
A lot of them can't do it, and that's just the reality of the situation. Like I said, even somebody like Alana Smith, first team All WNBA defender from Minnesota Lynx, she can't do it.
No.
She more of a, like I said, zone defender. You know what I'm saying? She could defend well in the paint. Aaliyah Boston can't do it. Like I said, that's what makes Angel special because she's rare.
Yeah.
Her, Dejanay, Fee, rare.
Yes.
Those are the only
Hold
three
on.
that I know for a fact can do it.
Hold on 1 second. Thank you, Victoria Taylor, for the $1.99 super sticker. Thank you, girl. Thank you. Thank you. Keep going, Duvall.
No, I just said them the only three I know for a fact that could do it. That I know for a fact that if I had my point guard out there, if I got a point guard out there, shooting guard out there, on 3, 4, 5, Fee and Angel in particular could do it in spades. DJ could guard 1 through 3. I wouldn't, say we seen DJ try to guard some fours this year, including Angel, and got smoked. But you don't expect her to do that. You know what I'm saying? She's small, she's slight. That's not a game. You know what I'm saying? So, but a lot of people can't do that. Even somebody like NECA is not like that. NECA is an all WNBA defender.
So you have to come up with defensive schemes that won't get Kamilla Cardoso drug out to beyond the 3-point line.
On the island, yes. They have to do either some switches where if somebody try to target Kamilla, you have to hurry up a switcher with somebody else on the team, and she have to take the other person real quick. Or you know what I'm saying? Or you have to do some help defense. Where if you're gonna put out on the island, have somebody help cheat over and hope they can recover. But they can't do that.
Right.
So you see how we get killed at the 3-point line. So you can't say, okay, well, if we get Kamilla on the island, let's just say Kia Nurse, you help cheat to help Kamilla, and then you recover. Because she can't even recover on her own.
No.
Talk about helping somebody else.
No, Kia Nurse cannot recover. I think I got a clip of her. Lord Jesus.
Oh, Kia Nurse, no. I just watched it.
Yeah, she can't recover. She trying to go help Angel. Girl, you need to help yourself.
She can't recover.
Angel don't need your help, baby.
and that was so funny about with AT, and this the second time they did this. Why is y'all crashing and helping Angel like she ain't an all WNBA level defender? She don't need y'all help. She will shut down AT on her own. I promise you that. She don't need you. Stay out on the shooters. You will win the game if you do that.
Just stay out on us. Just stay out there.
Make AT score 30. Because she's not going to do that on the Angel Reese.
No.
But you so worried about AT going downhill on Angel, then you forget the shooters. Because the shooters, what they doing, and once AT come down, they slide into, it's like a soft zone in football. You know, when you're that wide receiver, you playing that slot, and you slide in that soft zone, wait for the quarterback to see you, and then he throw you the ball. That's the same thing with AT. In the WNBA, she'll go downhill and let her shoot slide in that soft zone while, you know what I'm saying, the Kia Nurses of the world ball watching, she passed right out to the shooter and they shoot it.
Well, you know what we about to do. We about to let you listen. We done went through the roster, and so now I did that to show you how incompetent the roster that was constructed is. Hold on. And Kamilla Cardoso is headed overseas. So that means I'm guessing he will gonna play 40 minutes, I guess.
I wonder they gonna sign somebody off the street. To say supplement E Will. I don't think E Will can play 30 minutes a game.
30. She gonna have to. Who else can play the 5?
That's what I'm saying. I think they have to sign somebody off the street. They gonna have to.
All right, let's listen to your boy, your favorite man of the hour. Your boy, Tyler Marsh, after the game. Oh no, hold on. I'm gonna put on old Tyler. Because you gotta learn from the way Tyler be rolling. So here we go. Y'all ready? I'll put it off to the side so I don't get nothing from the police. Here we go.
Recording in progress. Okay. Did you see the press coming? And I guess I'll start with that. Yeah. Did you see the press coming?
Yes, we did. We didn't handle it well early. They got out of it in the second half. They were in and out of it, but yes, we were aware.
And then you guys spent the week working on handling pressure, and then this game was tough. I guess, how did you feel about it?
Yeah, I think sometimes handling pressure is mental as much as it is physical, and we didn't do it consistently enough tonight. Another 20-plus point or 20-plus turnover game, which is it's tough to win when you add that with giving up 2 30-point quarters to a team as good as Phoenix. It makes it tough.
We got Brian front row.
Coach, I just want to get your thoughts on just the actions with AT and Whitcomb. Obviously, the three-point shooter was pretty effective for Phoenix today. Just want to get your thoughts.
Yeah, I thought that we struggle staying connected to their shooters. They're a team that wants to get up a ton of threes. We knew that going into it. I thought that we lost connection to them way too often, and we talked about overhelping on their drives, and AT was still able to draw defenders and kick out, and they knocked them down. And so when you get down in that type of hole, our team isn't built to come back from those types of deficits. And so we can't put ourselves in that big of a hole that early. I thought that the group that played the whole fourth and they closed out in the third continued to fight. But just overall, we gotta have a better approach.
Carly and Naomi.
Coach, the theme all season with you guys has been turnovers and then perimeter defense. At what point does there need to be some type of change, either from a roster standpoint or in how you guys approach game planning and mindsets?
Yeah, I think it's something that we continue to look at, especially game plan wise and what we have internally. We've mixed up the lineups here and there. We played several different lineups with multiple ball handlers out there just to kind of maintain and handle the pressure. Been struggling to find something that consistently works, but that's part of our job. So we got to continue to do that. In terms of changing the roster, I don't really want to get into that. I think that what we got to focus on is who we have in this locker room right now and understanding what we got to do to be the best version of who we are and who we have right now.
Let's go to Naomi, then Brian, and Zachary.
Coach, to piggyback off of that, what is your message to this fan base who may be losing hope or not having clarity of what the identity of this team is, given that we're seeing so much consistent issues throughout these games? What would be your message to the fan base that might be losing hope?
Yeah, I think it's fair. I think that we're all frustrated, obviously, but I think that as a fan and sometimes as a player, you're only able to see what's right in front of you. You don't have the whole picture or the whole story. And for us as a staff, we kind of have a big picture outlook. And so for us, as frustrated as we are, we know the work that we put in and that the players put in, most importantly, each day. And so nobody's happy. Nobody is content with where we're at. We continue to show up each day and put in the amount of energy and work to be successful. And it hasn't turned into the results yet, but we're going to keep fighting. And I think that as much as passion and dedication and work ethic is part of this city, I know the will to fight is as well. And so that hasn't been lost amongst us, staff or players. And so we're going to continue to push, continue to work, continue to fight. And I think as a coach, you can't fully invest with outside noise. You got to lock in for your players and stay consistent for them and keep them believing. And I think we do.
Last few, we'll go Brian and Zachary.
So, Coach, of the half-court sets in the first half, you guys were, really getting the ball into Kamilla. But what did you see in that third quarter that kind of got out of control for you?
Yeah, I think that we got a couple players that are banged up, so we want to be mindful of minutes. I think that when the game got out of hand there midway through the third, for us it was more preservation at that point, and players were almost at their limit anyway, being on a back-to-back, and so we wanted to be mindful of that. And if the game wasn't as out of hand, then maybe it would have looked different. But we got to be healthy and ready to go into Atlanta tomorrow. We got 3 games in 4 days with LA on that following Tuesday. So we got to be mindful of having healthy bodies so that we can give as good of an effort as we can going into tomorrow's game.
We'll close out with Zachary.
Hey, Coach. Kamilla obviously shot 77% from the field today. Her consistency, her flow, her game is just continuing to grow pretty much every single game. What's your assessment of where she's at right now?
Yeah, I think that she asserted herself early today. She was did a really good job of being aggressive once the ball was into her and attacking before they could bring double teams and whatnot. I think that tonight offense, outside of the turnovers and their pressure, offense wasn't that much of an issue for us today. It was the defensive end. You can't give up 107 points and expect to come out on the higher end of that. So, usually a 86 point effort for us would, that's kind of where we would want to be. That's a really good day for us offensively, but we got to reciprocate that on the defensive end. So obviously we want to cut down the turnovers. I think when you look at the positives and being able to put 86 on the board with the amount of turnovers that we've had, there's still light at the end of the tunnel from that standpoint. It's just going back to a question earlier with the consistency is one game it's our offense, one game it's our defense. So finding opportunities to where both can kind of work hand in hand and be on the better side of it. That's what we're looking for and what we're striving for. So,
Thanks, everyone.
He said he's dealing with inconsistencies. One game is the offense, one game is the defense. He said his team is not built to come back from deficits. He said he's got to play 4 games in 3 days, so he was trying to spell his players because some of them are banged up. He said, yes, he understands that the fans are paying good money to come to these games and stuff, and they are part of this working class in Chicago, and they're very mindful of that. But however, people pay hard-earned money, and on national TV, Deval, thousands of people walked out of the arena.
Mm-hmm.
It's embarrassing. Second of all, if you really cared about the fans' money, pulling starters with 8 minutes to go in the third quarter is egregious.
Mm-hmm.
And then to sit up here and say you don't have a team built to come back from being down. Well, sir, you built this team along with Jeff P.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I asked this question. Seems like you wasting the talent of Angel Reese and Kamilla Cardoso.
Mm-hmm. They wasted the talent because they got somebody that's unqualified to be in that position.
Mm-hmm.
And that's basically what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is come back to money. If this high what it got, this is the best way I can describe this.
Yes,
If
and that's true, Reddit Microwave. Says the guy who played, I'm sorry to cut you off.
Go
Says
ahead.
the guy that played Sloot 37 minutes every night. But
Yeah,
go on.
what I'm saying is this. If you would have hired Jeff P after you got Angel Reese, it would have been malpractice by the owner. Malpractice.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't lie and say you don't got the money when that girl made you $17.8 million last year.
Right.
And she going to make you in the high 20s, low 30s this year. So you can't say you ain't had no money if this would have happened last year. If you would have hired Jeff P this offseason instead of before the draft last offseason. But because you was not making money, even coming off a championship and everything, that's why we getting the results that we're getting. They went cheap because they ain't had no money to spend in the owner's eyes. Because the owner's eye probably felt like I don't want to spend good money off a bad. And that's where we're at. Because what they should have is an experienced GM. Somebody that knows what they're doing, somebody that knows how to make relationships with not only the players, but with other coaches and other GMs around the league. And most importantly, they should have somebody that people will respect based on the dollar signs. And they don't have none of that. And so they running a operation like a mom and pop shop.
Even
And
though they made 17, 18 million.
Yeah, but that
off
was
one person.
That was pre. When they made that Jeff P hire, that was pre-Angel Reese. Like I said, if it was up to Jeff P, they wouldn't even made $17.8 million last year. Cause Jeff P ain't want her. That's what the funny part is. Jeff P ain't even want her. So they wouldn't even have the money they got now. So it's just like, that's why, as of right now, my anger is not towards Jeff P. My anger is not even towards Tyler Marsh. My anger is toward their owner at this point. And my anger is towards your Angel Reese. Because Angel, you know how much you make it. You know how much you made that owner. Sometimes you gotta pull that plow set play and say, hey, look, I made you all this money. Put me in the best position to succeed. Go spend money on a top level coach. Or if you want to go to another inexperienced level coach, go get me a Lisa Leslie. Go get me somebody that clearly loves and believes in me and will do everything in her power to believe and to build around me. And go get me an experienced GM. Go get me a Bob Myers who's on TV talking with Stephen A. Smith, who helped build the Warriors dynasty. He built that dynasty with his GM experience. Go spend money to get somebody like him to run this team. Because as of right now, it's like they buying everything off the cheap. They buying what you call it, the knockoff brand foods, expect, you know what I'm saying, to get great meal out of it. And that's not going to work. We seeing the results as we you know what I'm saying, as we speak. This is why my anger is towards the owner, because now it seems like you use a knockoff food to save money, expect a better result, and that don't work like that. And this is the sloop page that you talking about.
Yeah,
see how Angels recover?
Hold on.
Bring it back to the beginning.
Hold on, let me go back. Kia Nurse, y'all. AT, no, she ain't. Look, she know before she starts, she ain't gonna even try Angel. Kia Nurse comes all the way over and leaves her player. 3 ball.
Now let's go back one more time. Cause I'm gonna see. I want them to pause it for a second before we even let the play go. I want y'all to see what great defense look like. Look what Angel does. This is how smart her IQ is. Now play it. See, AT probably thought, oh, she had something. No, you don't. You see what I'm saying? So why?
But why, Kia Nurse? Why are you way up over here?
And her man's right over here.
Way over here.
Now
Ariel's got her man.
Now play again. Now let's just isolate.
She wasn't even in the frame when she went up for the shot.
Yeah. Now play it again. Let's isolate just on Kia Nurse from beginning to end.
Okay.
You see where she got lost at. This is where her.
I'm gonna do it slow.
Yes, this is where her slow IQ is at. When it comes to her low IQ, when it comes to basketball IQ at this moment. See, that's the pick. That's Kia Nurse.
Yep.
She should have just kept going. She could. Why is you trying to get in front of AT? You know you can't guard AT. Keep going. Get out the way.
Angel's got her. She's coming.
Why, Kia? Just keep going. Get out the way.
She's still looking at AT. You see her face? She turned to the side. She done lost her man. Now she's starting to turn. She's still lost in the sauce. She's watching Angel Reese the whole time and AT go through this battle. She's still looking. Look, she's still looking. The pass is going. She's still looking at AT. Then she turns all the way around.
Hey, you know, right there, stop right there. You see, once that ball went there, you know what she said? Oh shoot. I don't want to say the S word. I'm trying to keep my language to a minimum. But that's what she said. Oh shoot. And she knew right then she messed up. But that been happening all game. And Kia Nurse get caught in the sauce like that all season. And I think other team scouts sees that and they exploit it. Cause
Do
remember
you
Mabry
do
did it the
she
first
do
half.
you, do y'all see she's on an island by herself with no one?
Mm-hmm. You see, remember Mabry did the same thing the previous game with the Connecticut. Ryan Howard did it. Oh Lord, we got Ryan Howard tomorrow.
Yeah, we got right out tomorrow.
Just put Angel on him. That's all I ask. Just put Angel on there. And we'll work everything else out. We'll ask Alicia Gray to beat us. I you know what I'm saying, but this is what I'm saying. It's like she has a low basketball IQ, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. So please don't take it like that, Chad. It just you can see from the film that she get lost in the sauce. She ball watches instead of play her man. When the initial play happened with the pick and roll, instead of watching AT, she should just went with her man. If Angel get beat, she get beat. It happened to the best of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Don't worry about Angel. Angel reputation as a defender is certified. It ain't gonna change off of one game. I promise you that. So instead of watching and see if Angel recover, baby girl, excuse me, I'm sorry, Kia, you recover.
Right.
Don't worry about it. Angel gonna recover. You recover. Worry about your man. Don't worry about everybody else. Worry about you. Stop worrying about if Angel going to recover. Angel will be fine. You worry about your man because the 3 hurts more than the 2. If Angel give up the 2, we will live to see another day.
Mm-hmm.
You giving up the 3 is demoralizing for the team.
Yes. When
And
you start seeing threes keep raining down, that's why Steph Curry is such a deadly weapon.
Yes.
Because if you let that person get going, it's demoralizing to the team. You like, I'm done.
I'm telling you, like I said, when I was at the Atlanta game, and when Ryan Howard went on that heater, you could felt the air go out the balloon.
Right.
Cause
that was 9
a,
threes or 7 3 or however many threes they had that game.
It was 9 threes total. It was 8 in the between third and fourth quarter. I think it was like 6 in the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
You just like I said, that was a pro Chicago Sky crowd. It was a lot of Angel Reese jerseys there, and I'm telling you, felt like the air went out the balloon.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't recover emotionally when you get all those threes rained on you. And so stop worrying about the 2, prevent the 3. Like I said, AT get 30 on Angel, cool. We'll live with that. Okay. Angel was your day. We like I said, your defensive resume, your defensive reputation is certified. It's not gonna change off of one game.
Mm-hmm.
So if Angel get eat up for 30, hey, we'll get on Angel behind for getting eat up for 30. But hey, it'll be another game. But what y'all doing here is a theme. It's a theme when it comes to these 3-point lapses. And they have so many of those. And that needs to stop. And it's not just on Kia Nurse, it's on coaching. Because you got to preach this in film.
Right.
They should have had a elixir by now to how to recover when somebody do a pick and roll slip screen when it comes to 3-point shooting.
Mm-hmm.
They should have had an elixir by now. You should have seen some type of improvement. That you know what I'm saying, okay, we're learning from our mistakes. It seems like it's getting worse.
Right. That's true.
And that's the problem. That's where it comes to coaching. That's where like coaching is failing this team more than anything. That's why when me and Sister L were arguing what last night, yes, you can say it's a roster construction, but I'm saying it's coaching. Because we're not seeing nothing that's saying that they are learning from their mistakes. Now the roster could be bad.
Right.
But I think if you get what the lady named Natalie, if she had the same roster,
Nakasa, yeah.
I guarantee this roster will be way better than what it is now. Way better. Because one thing we can learn from what we seeing with that lady, she know how to coach.
Right.
She know how to get the best out of her players because she like I said she got a bunch of. If this a game of spades, she got a bunch of queen of hearts and 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 nine of hearts and all that, and say some clubs. She don't got no spades, but she win a couple of hands.
Now, let me ask you this. Before I ask you that, people in the chat, I got 96 likes, 200 people in the chat. Hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Please, please, please. But this one, I want to ask you this, Deval. When you have a person in the wing position making that mistake consistently throughout the game, how does it affect the team defense overall for the other 4 people who are working in this defensive unit?
First of all, they saying in their heads, what the hell?
Yeah.
That's the first thing they are saying. Second thing they are doing is like, now we got to overcompensate. Now, I'm going to give you a perfect example. And I think you might have forgot this. But once I break it back up, it'll kind of bring back memories.
Gotcha. Okay.
Remember in Unravel, the first 3 to 4 games where Angel had 2 bad defenders on the court with her, Kai and Chelsea Gray. Chelsea Gray because she's older. Kai is clear that she didn't want to get hurt. And it seemed like Angel was constantly kept overcompensating for their lack of competence when it came to defending. But then all of a sudden, when Kai got hurt and Leslie Hall got in the lineup, all of a sudden that defense got fixed. All of a sudden, they putting clamps on people. All of a sudden, the Miss only scored 2 points in the first quarter. Why? Because now she's not overcompensating for somebody incompetence. And I think that's the same thing here. So when you got somebody like a Kia Nurse that's constantly incompetent in keeping up with her man, knowing when the slip screen is coming, knowing when her man getting lost in the sauce, trying to get open. Now, if you if you're Ari Atkins, now you cheating on a little bit. Now, if you're Angel, now you feel like you got to play in no man's land because you feel like you got to play 2 positions. Now, if you Kamilla, now you feel like you're really on the island because you feel like, dang, I got to watch out for her and me. So it's like everybody's stretching themselves thin.
Trying to do more than their job.
Yes.
To recover.
And that's what it does to a team. And it's really frustrating to a team when they see what they're seeing on film and there's no kind of elixir. There's nothing that you could say that, not say nothing that you could say that it should be something by now that you could have said in practice or in film sessions where you could be like, okay, we see this again, we don't do this, and we should be fine. And that's the reality of the situation. Because I'm gonna give you a perfect example where somebody did something on us. Well, I'm talking Chicago Sky, and you can tell they watch film and their film is working. Remember in Washington, right? Well, we played Washington Tuesday. They're beating us to death. We're beating them to death. We're beating them like they stole something. Washington already seen what they seen on film. That man went to halftime and said, okay. You know they ain't good at ball pressure, right? You know if you press the ball on them, they'll turn the ball over. So when we come out in the third quarter, their coach clearly don't have third quarter adjustments because I ain't seen it in the damn game that he had done this season. So we're going to have ball pressure against them, and they ain't going to know what hit them. What happened in the third quarter? It went from a 16-point lead to a tie game within 3 minutes.
Yeah, because we started turning the ball over.
Ball pressure. Because they coach look at film.
Right.
They coach broke down the film and say, okay, they're not good at ball pressure. They don't really have a good point guard, or they don't have a point guard, period, on this team. We could get back in this game because they're going to turn it over because, like I said, they don't know what to do. They panic too much. And they did ball pressure in the third quarter, and we ain't have no answer because, one, we don't have a real point guard on the roster, And two, we don't have a real coach that know what to do in situations like that in time of pressure. Unfortunately.
And it seemed like they wait for Rachel Bannum to enter the game.
Mm-hmm.
They wait for HVL, unfortunately, to enter the game.
Mm-hmm.
They immediately send the pressure because they ain't in mind. I can steal it. I can get some turnover.
Mm-hmm.
The bad thing about this game is at the beginning of the game, Ariel Atkins came in. She was horrible with the ball at the beginning of the game. I think she had 5 turnovers in like the first, I don't know, quarter
Yeah.
and
Eric
a
Atkins.
half.
She had 5 turnovers first quarter.
Mm-mm. So and so they ended this game again with another 20 turnovers.
Yeah.
You know, but so if you already playing somebody like Rachel Bannon and HBL as a rookie,
Mm-hmm.
and if one of your veterans come in doing the same thing they doing, it's a recipe for disaster. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, I guess the person you didn't want to get a ball to,
Yeah.
which is Angel Reese, she didn't
Diabolical.
have it. She didn't have no turnovers, but she ain't had a ball. And
Not at all.
everybody else around her proceeded to turn the ball over.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
it seems to me with coaching,
Mm-hmm.
Angel Reese having one shot attempt is not by accident.
Yep.
It seemed like that was a game plan.
Yep.
Unless she was completely wide open, don't take the shot.
Mm-hmm.
He seemed like he's got a fetish for Kia Nurse. He kept throwing her back in there,
Mm-hmm.
even though his assistant should have let him know that she was lost on defense, and she wasn't hitting a shot. And Tyler Marshall, I'm not stupid. You waited to the fourth quarter to put Kia Nurse back in when she was 0-6 the first 3 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
0-6 or 0-7. Then in that fourth quarter, when the game was in hand, Kia Nurse hit 3 shots.
Mm-hmm.
Against some of the bench players, Kai was out there at some point, and Satu was out there at some point.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like Tyler Marshall's trying to make sure her stat line don't look as bad as it looked before.
I disagree with that part. It's not about the stat line, it's about her confidence. I think he
Okay.
wants to build her confidence in garbage time to, like, you know what I'm saying? So he need her for the next game. I think he don't want her to lose herself.
Well, you think Kia Nurse is needed for the next game? When really and truly, the reason why I say that, hear me out. We don't need Kia Nurse for the next game. We need Michaela. Michaela was the better defender when she got switched off to Ryan Howard.
Mm-hmm.
The last time we played the Dream.
Yep.
So if you're watching film, you need Michaela more than you need Kia Nurse. Me personally, I probably would start Michaela.
I'm a go as far as saying this.
Mm-hmm.
Not only you don't need her for the next game, you don't need it anymore. You just
damn.
You seen enough. She it's clearly she's washed. She can't play defense no more.
Mm-hmm.
She's a catch and shoot guard, but don't catch and shoot well. What is her purpose at this point? Just like Rachel Bannon, what's her purpose at this point?
I got you.
We just keeping people on the roster for political purposes because they don't want to look bad. And see, that's what a bad sign of a bad GM is. Sometimes it's okay to make a mistake.
And her contract is unprotected, Duvall.
Yep. It's okay to make a mistake.
They could release Kia Nurse. Other organizations have done it. They've released veterans off their roster. It's not unheard of.
I gotta bring it back to football, Keisha. Just I gotta bring it back to football just for a second.
Okay.
You heard of this guy named Kyle Shanahan, right?
I
Legendary
do.
coach. 2021, my quarterback draft, Trevor Lawrence. He had some good times, had some bad times, but we still sticking with him. He gonna be all right. Don't disrespect us, Keisha. Don't disrespect us.
I'm not gonna say nothing about your Jaguars.
Yeah.
I'm all right. I'm a
Don't
Saints
disrespect.
fan, so
Yeah,
we just gonna keep it PG. I got you, bro.
keep it PG. Now,
Right.
is this other guy that went in the draft, fourth pick in the draft, matter of fact, no, third pick in the draft. Name was Trey Lance.
I remember.
Gave 3 first-round picks. Like I said, it was 2010. That's suicide. Because you had to pay him well, and you had to give up the capital. You would have had to play him no matter what. They seen enough in practice. They knew he wasn't no good. They had this little guy named Brock Purdy, 7th-round pick next year. That, you know what I'm saying, he just hanging out there. They put him in the game, and he knew how to run the offense the way that the coach wanted to be ran. But instead of them saying, you know what, we gave up 3 firsts for Trey Lance, we have to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, he's successful. You know what they did? Hey, he ain't no good. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, let's just trade him for a 4th-round pick. Let's just say we made a mistake. Let's continue with the 7th-round pick. And you know what I'm saying? Let's see how far we can get with this team.
Right.
Tyler Marsh don't want to do that because he don't want to make that mistake. He don't want to admit that the roster moves that he made this offseason, that he misevaluated those players. So he'll rather hold on to them and play them when they don't deserve to be played, just to say that, hey, he didn't make a mistake, instead of cutting them and admit that he made a mistake and try to make the team better. Like I said,
So we dealing with a man's ego again.
basically.
Okay.
Because like I said, this the same man that goes into the practices trying to coach Rachel Battle. Like I said again, this man really wants to coach the team, but he can't coach the team.
Right. Yeah, he do.
That's why I don't think, even though I would love to have a Natalie, but I don't think Natalie would have came here.
No.
Because you ain't finna coach her. For what? She the coach. You the GM.
No,
but he want to be the coach.
Yeah, she seems like she's a
fiery bunch.
Yeah, she gonna take charge, dude. She inspired. Look, yeah, she gonna make the decision. She seems like that type of coach.
Yeah, she'd kick him out of practice. Same
Right.
thing what T Spoon did.
Mhm.
But Tyler Marsh, him being a man, and he's a man, they probably like, hey man, we stick together, man. You can do some of this, you can do some of that. You know what I'm saying? Let's do this like this.
Let's talk about it over dinner, Tyler. Let's go hang out, get a couple of drinks, and let's just talk about it.
You see what I'm saying? And then I'll say he's in the practices, he got a whistle. And that's how it is. And it was no different then. Let me bring back my team again. We had this guy, Trent Balky. We just fired Trent Balky. He was the GM.
Y'all just fired him? Okay.
Yeah, we just fired Trent Balky.
Dang.
We had him for a minute. Nobody ain't want him. The coaches ain't want to go coach for play under him and stuff like that. And so he had Doug Peterson. What he used to do, he had his whistle. He used to come into practices, walk through the training line. He used to walk through the football field along with the players. He used to coach the players while say they were going through their drills, because he really wanted to be the coach. But he's the GM. And it seems like that's the same thing with Tyler Marsh. He allowing Jeff P to be the coach. Even though he's the coach. He need to tell Jeff P, hey, go home to your wife and kids. I got this. But he probably feel like, Tyler Marsh probably feel like, I'm a man that's so unqualified to get this job. So I should just be thankful just being here. So whatever this man want to do, I'm just gonna let him do it. Because somebody that has any kind of pride in themselves, they're not gonna just let you run their practices and mess with their player development. That's his job.
So let me tell you this. This is why I think in the future you're gonna have some problems. But let me let y'all listen to these goofy people. This goofy Courtney Williams and Natasha Hardiman. I be listening to them. They so goofy. They so funny to me. But they was talking real talk. A couple of hours ago. 6 hours ago? Hold on.
Before you play it, I'm gonna let you know,
Mm-hmm.
chat. This gonna hurt your feelings.
It's really gonna hurt your feelings, but we gonna
And you
play
better,
it.
and what you better hope, Andrew has as much power I think she has.
Yep.
I'm just gonna say that before you play. Go ahead, and play it now.
We about to play it. Before I play it, hit the like button, everybody. Hit the like button. We about to play it. Courtney Williams used to play in Chicago, and she is talking to Natasha Heidemann about her experience. Here we go.
What? It's in my court case. Chicago pick you back up.
Court said no.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
Let's talk about Chicago, but not like basketball. Did you like being in Chicago?
Honestly, no. And I say that only because they had us in Northbrook, which Northbrook is cool, but it's just like all the way in left field. We was practicing in like a YMCA. So like every time we would go into the gym, bro, it'd be like mad old people walking around the track. Like our lockers was in the white, so like we would walk like they had our lockers all the way in the back. So like we would have to walk through like regular people in the gym and shit. Yes, bro. Like our lockers would be right here and
You're
like,
lying. So, Tribal Center
worse.
worse.
Bro, at least in Tribal Center, we had our own little area, our own little locker space, right?
Yeah.
In Chicago, it's a YMCA.
It says YMCA on the building.
It don't. I don't know what it say, but it got. Like it's one of those. You know where they got the basketball courts, the track, the weight
up top.
Up top, they got the weight room. They got the tennis courts. They got the pickleball.
The little racquetball with the glass.
Yes. So you walk up. You gotta walk up the stairs to the locker room. They had us in the back. You got the showers, you got the other lockers. It would be regular people at their lockers. We gotta walk by. Yeah, the rec center. That's exactly what it was. I couldn't think of it. That's all I said in the YMCA. It was at the rec center. So then you have to walk to the back, and then all our lockers was amongst the lockers in the back. But literally, mind you, you know how butt naked we be in there, bro. Like, bitch, I'm butt naked in front of randoms just walking to because our lockers is right here, bro. So to even get to the showers, you gotta walk by random people because they could be at their lockers. I mean, we're all girls.
But it's just
that's what was going on. That's what was going on, bro. Yeah. And then every time we had a game day, bro, let me tell you how cheap it was over there, bro. Every time we have a game day, we gotta drive from Northbrook to exactly
and stay in a hotel.
No.
They didn't let you stay in a hotel?
It wasn't. They didn't just give you the hotel and give you an option. So they gave you day rooms, so you couldn't even stay the night.
What? So you can take a nap.
Even when you say it out loud, it just sounds crazy as hell.
So
yes.
Just take a nap.
So like after a shoot around, for example, like say if it just depends because they actually set it up like so the year before I got there, I guess they was having their shoot arounds at the actual gym. But then the year I played for them, they was having their shoot arounds in Northbrook, so we didn't have to use the day room.
Center.
Exactly. So we didn't have to go all the way there and then have to use the day rooms to stay and then boom, boom, boom. So what we did was we was just having all the shoot arounds at the rec center, and then we would have to drive like 45 an hour every time we got a game. And then the bitches ain't even give us a room after the game. So you know how long you be at it. Like imagine a 7 p.m. game, right?
You're not getting home until 11.
Exactly. But then getting home, they'll be like, oh, there ain't no traffic. It's only like a 30-minute drive. But I'm like, bro, okay, even if we do got to do all of that, bro, we should have the option to be able to stay in the hotel that's right across the street, bro. if we tired from a game and I'm exhausted and I want to do my recovery, or even if I want to just go hang out in downtown Chicago, why don't y'all have me a room, bro? I gotta drop. I gotta decide whether I want to hang out or if I want to go home, or if I, you know.
And
what
even
I'm
if
saying?
you do hang out, then you gotta go
And
home.
then and even no, and then if I want to hang out, I gotta pay for my hotel room. Do the math. So don't nobody else in the chat ask me if I will ever go back to Chicago. It's over with. It's over with. Until we see the news drop that they get a practice facility and woo woo woo, I would never go back to Chicago. That's just what it is. Plus Minnesota treat us so nice, bro. Like what? Like to go from that and then come to Minnesota and just see the way they give it up behind their players, it's just like I could never go backwards. Like that's literally like going backwards, bro. Like I could never do that, bro. Like
it's so nice here.
And that's why my heart go out to Sloop, because you was in New York, and New York got some of the top of everything. And you went back to Chicago to damn near back to a rec center. A rec center. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but you know, for her it was more about her wanting to play. You know what I'm saying? So it's like she took a L on, you know what I'm saying, pretty much the lifestyle aspect of it. Oh, she said they have hotels now. Well, that's good. That's good. I'm glad they did something, because I know they ain't have it for us when we was there.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah, that ain't smooth at all. Oh, they say she moved to be closer to her family. Okay, well, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, that makes sense. Shit, you gotta.
Let me say this, because I'm finna beat my chest a little bit. Did somebody get mad at me one time because I said Chicago owners were cheap? I remember I said that.
I remember you saying that.
And they thought, oh, I don't live in Chicago, so how I know about Chicago players or management? Because I do my damn homework and I study.
There's a lot of people that said what Courtney Williams has said.
Now, let's be fair. When we played this video, this was pre-Angel Reese.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And so,
but we do have to acknowledge that the rec center was still in effect.
Yeah.
The first day Angel was introduced. But keep going.
Of course. You know, people are saying it's pre-Angel Reese because now the practice facility is being built.
Right, yeah.
So now, what she had an issue with will be no longer an issue. Now, I don't worry about if free agents not gonna come here because of the practice facility, because Angel Reese locked that down, and she locked it down to the way where it gonna be a similar practice facility like they built in Indiana and New York. So,
but if they keep pushing it back, then what happens then?
They can't push it back no more.
Okay.
They have to build it by the, because they said by before training camp of 2026.
Yeah, because so if they push it back, if they announce that it's pushed back again,
it ain't gonna come.
Yeah.
And then that girl gonna be
them people them players are not coming. They're not playing that game with them.
Yeah, and then, but this is why I say I hope Angel has as much power as she thinks she has.
Mm-hmm.
At some point, just like how we watched the film, how they watched the film, guess who else watched that same film?
I'm hoping Chicago Sky but you know what though? The trip part about all this is they've heard this over and over though.
No. This won't tell you about the film.
Mm-hmm.
If I watch the film, you watch.
Oh, you talking about game film? I thought you was talking about these interviews. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. If I watch the film, if you watch the film, if the team itself hopefully watch the film, guess who else is watching the film?
Their opponents.
That's my point.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to see that Tyler Marshall's not a good coach. That's where I kind of lean where you're coming at is if Angel reach out to Kai and be like, "Hey man, come play with your girl," Kai be like, "Man, I don't want to play for that coach."
Right. That's what I was trying to say.
That's what I'm saying. Do Angel got the power, or will Angel use her power? Cause she got the power. It's a matter of if she gonna use it or not. Will Angel be bold enough to use her power and go down on and say, "Hey, you either fire this coach in this GM or you trade me." But either way, I'm not gonna let you affect my career because I'm not gonna let you let me take bullets for an incompetent and a cheap reputation organization. That's not associated with my brand.
Let's think about this, Devon. Why would Kai Copper leave Nate Tibbetts for Tyler Marsh?
That's my point. But I could see her leaving a Nate Tibbetts for Lisa Leslie. Cause they love Lisa Leslie. A lot of them women love Lisa Leslie. She a legend. She be down there on Rival with them. She worked out with a lot of those women, including Angel. She worked out with Angel probably the most. But she worked out with others with the fees and all that. So she's somebody that's well respected. So if you could get somebody like that those women would love to play for, and a woman that those players can relate to from a girly girl standpoint when it comes to like problems and emotional stuff that you could talk about, that could kind of balance the scale. But with Tyler Marsh, I just don't think he's attracted to anybody. If they felt like T Spoon was bad, I understand now why they said T Spoon was bad. Because like I said before, it wasn't about T Spoon the coach. They put the word out in a campfire to probably other teams and organizations that T Spoon created a hostile working environment.
In which now everybody questioning. Now everybody's like, yeah, Teaspoon wasn't the problem.
Yeah. But I think they put the word out like that. And so Lisa Leslie, you can't do that. You can't besmirch her reputation like that because she never coached anything before. Nor whatever she had done from TNT to Unrivaled gave the reputation that she's a bad person to deal with. And so if that's the case, you know what I'm saying? At some point, Angel got to have the gumption and the fortitude and be willing to take the backlash and go to our owner and say, "Hey, look, you got to get rid of these two. Or we're not going to get no free agency here. I don't care if you be at this practice facility or not. These players want to play for somebody that they believe in. Because other people got practice facilities too. You're not the only one.
Right.
Because I'm going to be honest with you. Because if I'm a player and I'm looking at Golden State and I'm seeing this coach getting a bunch of 8th, 9th, and 10th mans on other people's rosters, and they looking good, and they have a top of the line practice facility, and I'm going to star away from being in a situation where they could be contending, why would I want to go there over Chicago? Chicago got the superstar.
Right.
So that's why.
Hold on, I want to show you this. You trolls out there in internet land got what y'all wanted, right? Angel Reese is shooting less. Angel Reese is taking the 8th fewest shot attempts per 36 minutes on the Chicago this season, and they still losing
badly.
And they losing badly. They losing. They getting blown out
on national TV a lot. And
y'all said if y'all focused on Kamilla Cardoso, I'm talking about the trolls. Y'all said if y'all focused on Kamilla Cardoso and everybody else on the team, the Sky will win games. They're not winning games, y'all.
And this what's worse about it. They ain't just lose it badly. They lose it badly on TV. National TV. And so now your name, if you Chicago Sky, is now being associated with losing. Being a loser. That could hurt your brand.
Mhm.
So that's why, like, man, Angel got to have the galls and say, you know what, get rid of both of them, or get rid of me.
Right. One or the other.
I don't care if I look like the bad guy. And Angel is and I wish I was on Angel's team because I will explain to Angel. You wouldn't look like the bad guy in this situation because one, Chicago already had a bad reputation before you got there.
I subscribe to that, Duvall. I do.
And
It's either them or me.
and then now I'll tell Angel, I said, no, they had a bad reputation before you got there. B, we all got eyes. We see what they're doing. We see how they sabotaging your career. And you won't be in the wrong for one to go to a real one organization that knows what they're doing, that knows the value of their talent and what they have in their organization. Angels, you too much of a valuable commodity to be selling for mediocrity. You don't get them mediocre dollars. You get them top dollars. So you shouldn't get mediocre production from the organization. So you need to tell them, hey, either terminate them too, get the coach that I want, get an experienced GM with the money that I made you, Michael Alton, or just trade me in New York City because they want me anyway. You probably could get a Jacquez Jones in the first. Or you probably could get a what they call a Phoebus, Burks. You probably
Whoever you think would sell you whatever image you're trying to portray. Go on over there. The New York Liberty got a lot of bodies to choose from. Just go on over there and choose one.
They got a lot of assets. Cause like I said, they could throw Burks, Laney Hamilton, and you probably get Laney Hamilton, Burks, and a Phoebus, and probably 2 firsts. And like I said, because it's the worst kept secret in the league. Everybody know New York want her in the worst way. They would give up the farm for her. Well, a lot of teams would give up the farm for her. All of them teams would give up the farm for her. Don't get it twisted. But New York want her in the worst way. So you just tell that owner, hey, look, either fire them.
Because you know why they want her, right? Because they want to sustain the dynasty.
Not only that, and that star power.
Because they at the beginning of a potential dynasty, and they want to sustain it. They want to be looked at like the Aces were looked at.
Not only that, you got Sabrina. She's sitting on prime.
Yeah.
You got Stewart that could give you a good 2-3 years left in you. Natasha Cloud, she give you a good 2 years left. And then you got not only Angel the player, Angel the star in New York City. I'm gonna tell you how big a star Angel is. If Angel was in New York City right now, besides Aaron Judge, there's not another person in New York City that'll be bigger than her. I'm talking. Let's go through the Knicks. Not Bronson, not Towns. Definitely them two. Nope. Yankees, like I said, you got Aaron Judge because he's a Hall of Famer, so he might be bigger in New York than Angel. Okay, cool. Liberty, none of them. Not even Stewart. They got better resumes, but not bigger star. Not even close. So let's where else? You know what I'm saying? Football, Giants. Malik Neighbors, nope. Russell Wilson, nope. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to the Jets. Well, you had Aaron Rodgers.
I was about to say I don't even know who over there still on the Jets.
Justin Fields, nope. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's just like again, even the Mets. I don't know who on the Mets at this point. She would be the biggest athlete besides Aaron Judge in New York City. She's the biggest athlete besides Caleb Williams in Chicago.
I really want to. I'm with Paige. She could go to Dallas.
She could. She go down, but I don't think she'll want to go to Dallas, to be honest with you. And there's no disrespect to Paige. I think she'll love to play with Paige. I just think she wouldn't want to go to Dallas because Angel feels like a big city person. She feel like if I'm gonna go somewhere, I gotta go to New York or LA.
Man, but Dallas will make her a star.
They would, but it seems like Dallas too small for her. You know what I'm saying?
Ain't nothing small in Texas, man. We make a lot of money.
It's not, but I think especially a lot of Angel businesses,
And that house she can buy a whole mansion. Let me tell y'all something. Let me explain
Yeah.
something to you.
Mhm.
What Angel need to do is she need to make basketball decisions. Now, the only thing I would say, New York could be great. Don't get me wrong, but I do agree with Paige to a certain extent. Angel and Paige from the other Paige
Yes.
could be a potential young dynasty.
Of course.
You know what I
And,
mean? What I'm saying? Like
yes.
for years to come.
Yes. Because what they can also do is like they can keep their own pick and they can just flip a Rike. You can flip a Rike. You could get a Rike. You could flip a Rike in a second and get an Angel. You still got your original pick. DJ will most likely stay because the Angel's there. So you'll
And
keep
Zaya
DJ.
James is already on the roster.
Yeah, you probably could still get Ezzy Fudd. So you could
Mhm.
get an Ezzy Fudd. DJ play the 3. You get, Alyssa Smith and Angel at 4 or 5. And then, like I said, T.M. McCown be back up. You could have something there. I just feel like personally, based on how Angel moves, especially as she really been business minded, New York seems the place that she want to go more than anything.
And
Like,
I'll
cause
tell
of
you another
Molly,
place that they said in the chat. Vegas is not bad, y'all.
nah, I don't think they'll trade to Vegas though.
Vegas should get coached
Yes,
the way she wants to be coached.
yes,
She likes a fiery woman coach.
yes.
And she'll get that in Becky. Becky not gonna take no mess from you. She gonna coach you hard. You might get cussed out, but it's all in love.
And Asia still got a good 5 to 7 years left in her.
Correct.
So they could win. They win. They'll be a title favorite. Her and Asia, and you probably get a Chelsea Gray. And like I said again, in this draft, because they'll still have their first round pick. Yeah, Vegas still have their first round pick. So you get like a Kiki Rice, somebody that's a young developing guard that will be at that spot that you can put behind Chelsea Gray to learn. So Vegas will be a spot. I'm gonna tell you a good place too, but I don't think she'll come here. Come here in the region of like saying the South, and that's like Atlanta. Atlanta would be a good spot.
Atlanta would be a good spot.
A black
Because BG is on the tail end of her career. Brianna Jones could actually play the 5-2 if they wanted her to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she would be beloved in Atlanta.
Yeah, Atlanta's a big spot for her. That's why I say she'll be here in the South, because I'm in Florida, so the South area.
No, but she'll be loved in Atlanta. Like,
oh yeah, Atlanta, Black City,
and she can do all her entertainment, all that stuff. You can do all that in Atlanta.
She just got to stay away from Tyler Perry. That's all. Stay away from Tyler Perry. Stay away from Tyler. You'll be fine, Angel. Just stay away from Tyler, because Tyler got some stuff going on. We told Taraji P. Henderson, we told Taraji P. Stay away from Tyler. So we're going to tell you, stay away from Tyler. But other than that, Atlanta is a good spot for you.
I mean, the music scene, the movies, all kind of stuff going on in Atlanta.
Yeah, a lot of her celebrity friends in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? Mariah the Scientist, Lotto, you know what I'm saying? Like Monica. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them, like the Usher, they all here. And here in the South, in Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? Because Atlanta is like, you know what I'm saying? It's like the black entertainment of the South. So that's why I say here in the South, because like I said, it's because we close to Atlanta, so we feel like Atlanta, Jacksonville. So you know what I'm saying? So we know, so we close enough. So like, it just at the end of the day, it just.
And I told you the other place when we was talking back and forth.
Yeah. You said
Dallas. The other place was Phoenix. Hey man, what they building in Phoenix?
I feel Phoenix, but
her and AT is.
But AT close to the end in the beginning. AT what? 32.
Look, I don't count out AT. AT ain't even got no shoulders, and AT still out here bum rushing people. I ain't counting out AT until AT pack it up, man. And even if AT goes to pack it up, She still got Satu, Kai, and all these role players that's just okay with their role.
And you know what? And you know what's so funny? This is what I'm gonna give you credit by when you come to Phoenix. This is where it's a big indictment on Jeff P. right here. A lot of those role players was undrafted free agents. Is on correct?
Yes, you're correct.
So you telling me they discover undrafted free agents that became shooters, and we can't find shooters on this team, and you know what I'm saying? And we had picks galore.
Mm-hmm.
They got them with undrafted free agents. That's equivalent of in NFL. Like I said, you get undrafted free agents in football. Like you hit goal when you do that. And so
Oh
it's just
yeah,
like
and when I was talking about Vegas, I seen what Reddit Milky Way said, Duval, but Angel could play. Angel and Asia can go back and forth
oh
between
yeah.
the 4 and the 5, y'all.
I think
They
Asia will
could
play the
be
five.
interchangeable.
Well, I would tell you this: if in that case, Asia will play the five if Angel come there.
Yeah.
She'll be more than willing to play the five if Angel come there. You know what I'm saying? I think she played the four now because they ain't no good five. So you know what I'm saying? If you know, so why take the pound if there ain't nobody that's good that can play with the position that I'm playing currently? But if Angel come there, she'll play the five. She won't have no problem doing it.
Yeah, like BD Sports say, they could. I mean, they could, either one of them ladies could play the 4 or the 5. They. I think they interchangeable, but that's just
And all of
me.
that, Angel could play the three. To be
Yes,
honest with
that's what I'm saying. They could slide. Becca Hammond would have so much versatility in the
you,
front court.
and you know who? And I'm gonna tell you why I know you're correct. Because you know who Becky Hammond learned from, right?
No, who?
Greg Popovich. That was her
Oh
coach
yeah,
when she
yeah,
was
that
in the
was. I
NBA.
did know that. I did know that.
Greg
Mhm.
Popovich is king of versatility.
Yes.
Played Tim Duncan at the 4, played him at the 5, played Mono Ginobili at the 3, he played him at the 2, he played Tony Parker at the 1, he played him at the 2 at times. He played Steven Jackson at the 3, he played him at the 4 at times. Sometimes he played at the 2. That's
He did.
all. That's all what Greg Popovich preached. That's why if you look at Steve Kerr, he did the same thing with Draymond. Draymond was rotting on the bench before Steve Kerr got there.
He was.
All I'm saying, he get there and he see this tweener that could play the 5, but he fast enough to play the 4, and at times he could play the 3. He learned from Popovich because Becky and Steve Kerr was on Popovich's bench. Oh, he could be versatility. And so it's like when you have that, you know what I'm saying, at the end of the day, it could be a great asset if you know how to use it properly. So it's not like her going to Vegas will stunt her growth because somebody like Becca Hammond wouldn't know how to use her. That's the opposite. Because Becca Hammond learned from the best. So she would know how to use Angel based on matchups. And so Asia. Now Asia can't play the 3, but Angel can play the 3. But Asia can play the 4. And so it could be sometimes you might have a big lineup with if they keep a Kia Stokes, they can have Kia Stokes at the 5, Asia at the 4, and Angel at the 3. Or they can have Jackie Young at the 2, and you know what I'm saying,
All kind of stuff.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
All kind of combinations.
And so it's just like, again, we ain't trying to just put Angel somewhere else just to put it somewhere else.
No.
But at the same time, clock is ticking.
Right.
At the same time, the more we get games like this, the more that alarm got to be ringing for Angel Reese in her head. Because that woman, all the way up to this point, being associated with winning. And not only with Chicago Sky incompetence would be associating her with losing, but then you got a fan base that resents you so much because of what you represent and her being a threat to the most popular player in the WNBA, they would rub it in her face every chance they get. And that woman don't want to go through that. That woman would rather leave. And that's why I keep telling Bro Clark this. She would rather leave than allow her name to be associated with losing and taking bullets for an organization that's not even trying. So at some point, they either have to put up or shut up. They have to put their cards to the table. Let me know what time it is. Because like I said, this woman could leave her dream school or college to go to LSU. She would leave Chicago Sky to go to an organization that she feel like she can win with. And that's the reality of the situation. Because like she's not going, especially with the Olympics coming up. You think she want her name to be associated with a loser team, and then her Olympic opportunity could be in jeopardy because of Chicago Sky incompetence? Nah, she ain't gonna want that. She will leave. She will leave. So she will leave. So yes, Chicago.
Look, expect a broke car crash out to be loading. Who? The ball.
I know it because like even though Chicago Sky is associated with losing, she sanitized a lot of that with her reputation. But at some point, even her reputation wouldn't be able to overcome their reputation preceded her.
Right.
You know, so just like that, like we played that audio clip with Courtney Williamson. She ain't had nothing to do with that.
No.
But like I said, but if you keep having incompetence ran like it is running now, even what she brings to the table as far as her reputation among her players and other coaching staffs can't overcome that. And like I said, that woman has a team. She's not like, and this is no shade, and I'm going to bring this person up again. This is no shade to Asia Wilson. I don't think Asia Wilson have a team. I think it's probably herself and maybe one other person, and maybe her
boyfriend. Like a publicist team or
like Angel got a marketing team. She have an agent. She have a publicist. She have security. So she have a team. She have a full staff that she has to be accountable for. Remember, she has somebody that runs stuff with her mom, with her foundation. So it's like she has a team. You know what I'm saying? So her team has to have hands-on input when it comes to her career and what her brand stands for. So that's what I mean when I'm talking about her team. So at some point, she has to be responsible to her team and be like, hey, I got to do what's best for me if my organization is not putting me in the best position to succeed. And
well, look, we about to get up out of here, but Duvall, we went through the roster. We went through what they put together. Angel she's seen it for the last 10, 11 games now. At some point, she's gonna have to climb them stairs and go on up there and knock on the door and say, "I need to have a meeting with you, sir. I need to talk to you."
And not just her. She didn't bring D-Wade with her. Her D-Wade.
We need to talk to you, sir, because this is, I mean, to be on national TV, to have your fans walking out, to have some fans, they said the game was sold out. Some fans didn't even show up.
Yeah.
They'd rather just lose their money and not go watch that.
And what adds insult to injury is because of this. This is not the first time that he did it.
Right.
New York Liberty blown out.
Multiple blowouts.
Fever twice blown out. Like that 20,000 that they had in Chicago United Center, that supposed to have been a celebration.
It was bad.
That was blown a funeral. Out. A funeral. And that owner at some point gonna get embarrassed. Like I said again, if you charge these sponsorships double the money, and you charge, and this is not allegedly, well, I'm gonna tell you about this because where I work at, I know for a fact because we had to deal with this last year when it came to Chicago Sky. Chicago Sky last year was on the Marquee. That's their TV station. Then they went to this year to the U. So that means they probably got more money to go to this network and left the marquee network that they was under last year. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I know that for a fact because we have to run their channels. So we were
Mm-hmm.
running the marquee that played the Chicago Sky games.
Mm-hmm.
Now they all their games is on the U this year. That's why you gotta have a subscription and all that. So now you get more money going on from the U, from marquee to the U.
To the U, yeah.
Because Angel Reese and her star power. And so again,
Mm-hmm.
when you're doing all this, these people gonna have questions too.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna be like, why I'm paying all this money and people ain't want to watch the games no more because it's a competitive product. These sponsors are gonna be like, wow, I'm paying double the money. Yes, Angel Reese is a superstar draw, but if they lose it like that, who gonna really want to buy our products?
Mm-hmm.
At some point, that owner gonna have to answer these questions for all these people that feel like they have to pay more money just to be associated with Chicago Sky.
Yeah.
So that's where, like I said, the rubber at some point the rubber gonna meet the road. At some point, the rubber gonna meet the road because
And
some of these people gonna have
you
some
in the
questions.
United Center, sold out.
Yes.
Blowout.
20,000.
You at home, blown out.
Yep. 20,000.
You as the owner sitting at your house. What are you thinking? You think by mid-season this fan base gonna still be engaged?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll be engaged because we're basketball fans.
Junkies.
We're gonna watch. We basketball junkies. We're gonna watch regardless. But the casual fan is not.
Yep.
So, and that's where you're getting all this extra money from, Duval. You're getting the extra money from the casual fans. We were already here. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
I'm gonna tell you why this matters. I remember this. I know my Chicago people in here. They know exactly what I'm talking about when I'm about to say this. And I'm gonna tell you how much I know about Chicago sports, even though I don't live there, but I study my stuff. I remember when the Bulls was at their greatest. They built WGN Network. I dare you, somebody in Chicago, somebody in Chicago from Chicago who is in the chat, tell me I'm lying. They built the WGN Network. Since Chicago hasn't been good when Michael Jordan left, that network don't exist no more, unless it's under a different name. They built the WGN Network. They built it, and so that's the same thing. This, like I said, what Chicago Sky was doing with Angel Reese when they going to like I said to the UTV, and so like they getting their own version of WGN, and so these people going to have questions about, you know what I'm saying, about what's going on if, you know what I'm saying, if everything is not on the up when it comes to roster construction and this team competing.
now look, somebody said you lying, so I went and looked up WGN. They started in 1978, but I guess, and they were bought out in 2001 by News Nation.
So what a lie at?
So WGN is no longer. So I'm wondering what AC Shot Time referring to, because they became WGN was from 1978 to 2001.
Yeah, because they used to hold.
Then they became WGN Super Nation 2001 to 2002. Then it became Superstation from 2002 to 2008. Then it became WGN America 2008 to 2021. Then they was replaced by News Nation.
And so for the person that's saying telling the story, because I'm not watching the chat, so I'm gonna just take your word for it. Yes, I can also say the Cubs played on that same network, but the Cubs wasn't no good. The only thing the Cubs had at that time was they had Ernie Banks in the 80s, and then in the 90s, Sammy Sosa especially like 96 to 98, 96 to like 2000, when the home run chase with him and Mark McGwire. Yeah, that helped, but it wasn't like Michael Jordan and the Bulls. That WGN was nationwide. We were getting WGN in Jacksonville, Channel 28. That's how I remember WGN, because I used to watch every Bulls game. And they took it right off the network once Michael Jordan left. Once Michael Jordan left, they took WGN right off our cable package.
Did they take it off your cable package?
They took it right off because we didn't care about it no more. But WGN was built when the Bulls dynasty was at its greatest, because they used to play all their games on there. Besides, when Bulls used to play on, the national TV games like the NBCs and stuff like that, TNTs. But when they had their local games, it used to be on WGN. WGN used to be on Jacksonville. If it was, even if somebody was to say, I don't know, like I said, whoever's saying in the chat, like I said, I'm taking your word for it. Even if the Cubs, even if that was around before Michael Jordan made WGN what it was. Michael Jordan.
Look, let me tell you what AI said.
Okay.
Look. Jordan's impact on WGN. Michael Jordan's rise to prominence with the Chicago Bulls in the late 80s and 90s brought unprecedented attention and high ratings to WGN TV, which broadcast many of the Bulls games and their 6 championship victories. His stardom made the Bulls a worldwide phenomenon, and their games televised by WGN were the highest rated shows on the station at the time. WGN's history predates Jordan, but his success and rise of the Chicago Bulls brought them into the prominent as a prominent TV station. So basically, what you were saying is, hey, WGN, yes, they were around, but they wasn't prominent until the Bulls were actually going on that run they were on. They said this success even led to some conflict with the NBA, as other teams and owners felt that WGN's national broadcast of the Bulls game were giving Chicago an unfair advantage. That's how impactful the success of Michael Jordan was.
People don't understand Michael Jordan. When Michael Jordan went to Atlanta, when they played the Hawks in '92, they did 60,000 in the Georgia Dome. They played in the Georgia Dome. They had never been done. I think the Warriors did something like that. I think not this year, but like maybe a couple years ago. They played. I think either San Antonio, and they played somewhere where they did like 50, 60,000. But the Bulls did 60 something thousand in the Georgia Dome. That's how popular the Bulls was.
Hold on. Yeah. They said, look, in summary, from what you're saying, in summary, it says Michael Jordan's arrival and remarkable career was instrumental in propelling WGN TV into a period of great success and national recognition. But the station itself existed and had been broadcasting for decades before Jordan's stardom. But they were instrumental into propelling into the national conscious. So I get what you're saying. Yeah, they got a lot of networks, but that network was everywhere, not just in Chicago anymore. After while Jordan was making his run, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
And I think what some people were saying in the chat was like, "Oh no, he didn't." I don't think you was meaning built it in a place like I started WGN. No, that's not what we're saying.
It became a powerhouse. Yes. It was what matter of fact, I'm gonna give you another example. It was what TBS became for the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, I remember that.
TBS. Yes, TBS was around before Atlanta Braves really took off. But when Atlanta Braves took off in the 90s, that when TBS started playing from Atlanta to Jacksonville to Miami to wherever in the South. Atlanta Braves became the South team because of TBS had a big old satellite signal where they could broadcast everywhere in the South. That's how they dominated the South. It's no different than, like I said, when WGN was at its peak, when Michael Jordan was with the Bulls, like I said, we were getting WGN in Jacksonville, Channel 28. Look it up.
Yeah, we were.
We were getting that in Jacksonville. We shouldn't be getting no Chicago station in Jacksonville. And we were getting that in Jacksonville. As soon as the Bulls was over, they took it off.
I know. Yeah.
Took it off our cable package.
Right.
Take it off. It wasn't even worth charging us for it no more. Because nobody ain't want to watch it from that standpoint.
Right. No,
nobody
I'm
want to watch the Tim Floyd and the Elton Brand Bulls after say they broke up. The
I'm
Beatles.
still in I'm still in the South. I can't tell you when the last time I watched the WGN. You know what I mean?
Tell you either.
I can't tell you.
Like I said, I didn't even know they still exist or not. To be honest with you.
But I do remember them doing Jordan. I remember playing because we was glued to the TV.
Everybody.
So everybody was. So hey,
WGN was everywhere. It was like I said again, Channel 28. That's how I remember. Like on top of my head, when I was a little kid watching Jordan every game on WGN. Or like I say, if I ain't watch at the house, I used to watch at my uncle's house. WGN, watching the Bulls game, every one of them, unless it was on NBC, because NBC used to be like a weekend thing for the Bulls. Because like, I don't think NBC had weekday games. I think like back then, TNT had the weekday games, and NBC had like the weekend games.
That's true, Reddit Mickleway. Reddit Mickleway said that's like HBO after Game of Thrones ended.
Yeah.
Because Game of Thrones, man, had us in the chokehold. I don't care. I know some people like, I don't even watch the Game of Thrones. Okay, good for you. A lot of people was watching the Game of Thrones, y'all. And HBO went on and became Max now, and they're not even HBO no more.
Nah, they built other things off of that.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing what they did with The Wire and what it called, Sopranos at some point.
Yeah. Them when they had those kind of runs, it transcends. You know what I mean? So yeah, we about hey, let me go check my likes before I get up out of here because I gotta go get me some grub. Check my likes and see where we at. Cause y'all, we've been up here running my mouth. I'm at 131 likes, y'all. And there's 180 of y'all in this chat. Hit the like button, please. Moment of silence. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button.
So like I said, let me make this one more time. Make this clear one more time. That I'm not saying WGN wasn't existed before Chicago Bulls. But when they had the Cubs, nobody wasn't watching the Cubs like that. Nobody wasn't watching Ernie Banks like that. Nobody wasn't even watching Sammy Sosa like that to 98. To the 98 home run chase. But by then, Bulls was already peak Bulls then.
Somebody said on Twitter, Sammy Sosa black again. Is that true?
Yeah, I think he turned back black. He had that cream.
Somebody said that.
He had that broke cloth shea butter. He just put on his skin instead of his hair. That would happen. I don't know.
So somebody said on Twitter, I was laughing. Somebody said he back being black again because he was at some. I think he had went back to his, the stadium he used to play in like 20-something years later. They just had it on Twitter, and he was waving at people, and people said, "Oh Lord, Sammy Sosa is black again." Oh. Okay. Y'all got jokes.
Because he got pink at one point.
Look, chat. I'm not trying to confirm or deny. I'm just saying allegedly on Twitter they said Sammy Sosa was black again. That's all I'm telling you.
They say he ran out of people that he wanted to date that wasn't us. Let's just put it that way.
Look,
so he had to come back.
This is allegedly. I don't know. They say they saw him at an event and he was black again. So I don't know how you go from not being black to black again. But Sammy is back.
I hope so. But yeah, man. But Sammy. But even back then, even around that time when the Bulls had they peak, Sammy was he wasn't bringing people to WGN like that. Like I said, Sammy from 98, 99, 2000, maybe even 2001, when he had 66 home runs. We had 360 home run seasons. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he had a small part. Oh, that black. Oh, okay. Yeah, his skin getting darker again now. Cause he'll pink at one point. Pink. So I don't know. They had the same cocoa cream. You know what I'm saying? They had the same doctor. So I don't be knowing. So allegedly.
Allegedly, he back. That's all I can tell you.
He look kind of black again. You know what I'm saying? If he stay in the sun a little bit longer, he'll get black like he was when he was hitting the home run.
And it's funny to me because we doing a show about the Chicago Sky and nobody said anything about Sammy Sosa coming back. They didn't say nothing. But he back. Twitter had to tell me they back. He back. So I just thought that was funny. we about to get up out of here because we crazy as hell and we ain't got no sense. But I'm happy, I'm happy he back because I didn't like Sammy when he was out there looking scary.
That's that Miami stuff. That's all that was.
Is that what it was?
He'll wear the Miami suits and he'll walk around with the palm trees and stuff like that. And he went pink. That's all he did. He went pink like Pink Panthers. That's all.
Y'all ain't right. Y'all is not right.
He just came back home. That's all. He came back home.
Oh, Sammy. Yeah, Aunt Dick say Sammy got to be about 60. I'm guessing Sammy got to be, let me see how old Sammy say I can't be using them creams. He must have got some of that shea butter from
Procard. Got a gang of it. Probably got buy one get one free.
He 56 now.
Yeah,
he 56. The Sammy back, y'all. Just so y'all know. And these fools online talking about Sammy Sosa is black again. We're close to another conflict in the Middle East. It really is the 2000s again. Y'all stupid.
Yeah, he's back, man. Like I said,
we about to get up out of here.
You need to get up out of
here because we talking crazy now. Let's get up out of here.
Yeah,
hey,
somebody came at my head because of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? Chicago sport. I'm telling you, in Jacksonville, Florida, we had WGN Channel 28, and we ain't have it since Jordan left.
They took your Channel 28.
They said my bad. They took it. You know what I'm saying? They ain't care for us no more.
Chad, he just telling you about his pain. He just was wondering what happened to it. God damn, you take shit clean off. But anyway,
they take it off.
Hey, on y'all way out the door, y'all know what to do. Hit the like button. Thank y'all for rocking with me and Duvall today. I think we got off some we didn't even crash out, y'all.
Nah.
We talked very passionate but analytical about what we got and the team that they built around Angel Reese and Kamilla Cardoso, which I'm saying Angel Reese and Kamilla Cardoso because Tyler Moore said they were the cornerstones of the organization. And I'm just wondering, once we went through each position, I am wondering why they made some of the moves they made and why they picked some of the people they picked.
Mm-hmm.
But we are here now, and something has to be done. I'm with Duvall. Angel's pretty much gonna have to go talk to somebody and say, "Hey, I can't be associated with this, man. Y'all gonna have to make something shake."
Ultimatum.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to do it. That's why because boss man, because he keep jumping on my head when I say 2026 is everything. Mm-hmm. And he keep asking me why you keep saying 2026 because that's gonna tell the determination of what Angel Reese future gonna be in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Because if she get the free agent she wants, she'll be there. She'll sign the extension and all that. I believe that. Because she got personnel say, she got organization say. But if she's not going to get any free agent to come now, she ain't coming. She ain't staying. She can still love Chicago, keep that house, and still buy another one. Angel make over $10 million a year. She ain't broke.
I know. But we about to get out here. Look, tomorrow, y'all.
Oh, yeah, we covering the game.
We covering the game tomorrow. We'll be right here crashing out with y'all. So don't worry about it. Y'all won't be alone. We'll be here with you.
She won't be alone tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I'll be here tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll be up here. So thank you for rocking with me, Devon. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Good night. Go to bed. Get a good night's sleep. Get your drink together. What time is the game tomorrow? I'm
I
telling
think
y'all to
3
drink.
o'clock.
Oh, it's at it is. 3
Is it
o'clock your
ESPN?
time. 3 o'clock your time. 2 o'clock my time. 2 o'clock Central. 3 o'clock Eastern. We'll be on an hour before for the pregame. So we'll be here, y'all. We'll be
It's on
here with you.
ESPN?
I
I thought they moved that game to ESPN, but I could be wrong.
No, I don't see that it's on ESPN.
Is it nationally televised? I thought they moved that game.
No. It don't say, because usually it'll say where it's being broadcast from. Hold on, let me see. Let me make sure. Let me go over here. Oh, you are right. You're right, Deval. It's on ESPN 3.
3, okay. I thought they moved to ESPN, but I think they probably moved the Caitlyn game to ESPN.
Yeah. No, Caitlin's game is on ESPN.
Yeah.
We on ESPN 3.
Jesus.
Yeah.
They put us on the 3. You know, a lot of people don't even got 3. They
No.
barely got 2.
You got to have that ESPN Plus package to have that 3. So
they go watch. Let Chicago Sky keep getting blown out. They gonna start doing them like Jacksonville Jaguars, taking them off of prime time.
You know it'll happen. You know.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you how much they ain't like my team. Man, they took us off of ESPN Monday Night Football for like 15 years, and they took us off of Sunday Night Football for like 15 years. No, they took us off of Sunday Night Football for like 15 years, and they took us off of Monday Night Football for like 12 years.
You know why? Because y'all was bad.
That won't say that. They gonna do that to the Chicago Sky. They got 30 primetime games. They gonna end up taking them off.
Ain't nobody want to see that, Devon.
I'll tell you, they gonna do that to Chicago Sky. Let them keep getting blown out. They gonna start flexing them out them on primetime games. They got 39. They already got buried in 5 of them. Let them keep being bad. They gonna start flexing them out.
You wrong. All right, we out of here, y'all. As y'all going out the door, hit the like button. Love y'all.
Have a good night, Chad.
Peace and hair grease.
Have a good night.